Hello there everyone and welcome to the finale of Sonic Rush. Now, why am I showing Leaf Forest off right here, or Leaf Storm? That's because a thing has been discovered, or at least my partner told me this with the idle animations. On the touchscreen, if you touch the character, be it Sonic or Blaze, idle animations will play. I like idle animations and stuff, so I felt like showing that off. It's nothing like revolutionary, but it's a nice little touch, you know, especially with Blaze. Shows off their personalities. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way really. I thought, oh, I've got to throw that in. Anything to do with like animations and stuff, I am very interested by. It is time for the extra zone. Yeah, where we play as both, apparently. This is unlocked when you collect all the Chaos Emeralds as Sonic, as well as the Soul Emeralds with Blaze. Pretty much similar to, you know, your usual Sonic games, where if you collect all the Emeralds, there's like this super extra thing. It was like that as well in Sonic Adventure. In the original Mega Drive and Genesis days, there wasn't really an extra zone. It was just more you got to play as Super Sonic throughout the stages. Which, that was a pretty cool treat on its own, you know, made you feel like a god playing through the stages, particularly in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, although at times he was too fast to control. So it's sort of like a hit and miss thing with it. But yeah, now we get to see the actual epilogue to Sonic Rush as a whole. The cutscene I don't really remember much of. As I've said throughout this LP, the story in this game didn't really grip me as much compared to other Sonic titles, you know? The ones that I can think of on the top of my head really are like Sonic Unleashed. Unleashed's story was pretty interesting from start to end, really. They went very deep on that one, I'll tell you that much. But here, well, Blaze is trying to face off against Dr. Eggman and Dr. Eggman Negative against this fish thing. I don't even know what to call that, to be honest. It's some weird, like, mech. Not too sure what it's supposed to be based on. I mean, you know, the one from Warp Palace was based on, like, a sea creature. I have no idea with this one. It would seem so. I've always kind of wondered, actually. So I know how Dr. Eggman would sound, but we never hear a voice clip or anything from Dr. Eggman Negative. So kind of makes me wonder what voice they would give, and they'd maybe slightly differentiate it. Where it would, my guess is it would still probably be Mike Pollock, but just slightly altered, where it sounds like a more, I don't know, just a different version of Eggman, you know? I also, adjusted a couple of things in my headset because I noticed on some of the episodes my mic sounded nothing like how it used to be. Yeah, updates. Bloody updates. They destroy everything. So I had to find like a new configuration with the headset, so hopefully it sounds crystal clear because I like to maximize the most out of the headset as it can sound pretty good when you get it all configured correctly. Yeah, so Blaze is no match by herself, that is. Yeah. But Sonic's a very positive dude in like any circumstance. So it's just like, yeah, he'll find the light. Somehow. Because that's just what he does, I suppose. That is true. Again, I don't really find this cheesy. I think it's nice, you know, it's teaching Blaze a lesson. Because she's like, used to her own ways, you know? And check it out. Because of trust. The power of trust. Hell yeah. Okay, and time for my favorite supersonic transformation in the whole series. I love this. Seriously. So I know it's short, but I love that transformation. Just the music, the composition, how the emeralds like spin around and stuff. It's just so goddamn cool. I absolutely love it. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, like typical fashion in the other Sonic series, we play as Super Sonic in order to defeat the boss. It kind of gives me vibes of, I think it was called Doomsday from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Except this one has a bit of a twist to it. This boss fight in particular, I find it's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. The sample is crazy. Like, the actual vocals to this are literally from Malcolm X. I'm not even joking. Like, you can even check that out yourself. It's like, what? Of all the things to sample and it's that? Okay, I guess. But the objective for this is where you play as Super Sonic. You must deflect some of the obstacles back towards Eggman? I think it's Eggman. Or it might be Eggman Negative that we're fighting towards. And it's a little bit finicky because when you're trying to deflect it back, the mech or the robot is like moving around. So you kind of sometimes have to just hit it at the right angle in order to hit the bloody thing. Although at times he does change it up, like here where he throws missiles out at you. I've found that when he does that, as long as you're constantly moving around and dashing in like random directions, you should be able to avoid it. I was finding Goofy who just spins out of control in this bit. That was on the top screen. Now we switch over to the bottom screen where we play as Blaze. Except her actual super form is called Burning Blaze, as far as I'm aware. Which, I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Compared to Sonic, she can still dash about, but she has this bloody Kamehameha move. In order that you must shoot back towards the boss to take it out. You have to wait for it to charge a bit though, but while it's charging, you can still move up and down. Oh, and of course, when you're in like the super forms, you have to, or the burning form, shall I say, for Blaze, you have to grab the rings in order to keep yourself, well, afloat. If you run out, you die. And that's a pain in the arse, isn't it? With Blaze, it can be easier to hit him though, because you're not trying to deflect things back, you're essentially just trying to shoot something towards it. The robot is also flipped as well, which I find kind of cool. It's like two sides to the robot. Oh, and the move that he done there is like a black hole. What I tend to do is I just dash downwards constantly because then I'm not going to get sucked in. Now, my performance in this was terrible. But I wanted to capture the vibe of just like as if you were playing this like for the first time or so, because this is my first attempt at trying to defeat this boss, because I know it's possible. You know, I don't really die much on this extra boss because of how many bloody rings they give you. You know, as long as you're constantly collecting the rings, you're going to be fine. Because if you take hits, you don't lose rings. You delay your chances of moving around. Oh, and sometimes, yeah, he'll swipe this bloody beam, a sword thing? Reminds me of the thing from Zero from Mega Man X, except it's not green. But yeah, you just sort of have to dash out of the way in order to avoid it. If you dash at a diagonal point, you are able to get out of the way. But with Sonic's side, I think as you can see here, trying to actually hit the face can be a little bit cumbersome. Because you have to deflect them at just the right angle. And because they're constantly moving around as well as the mech, it's, I don't know, it's a pain in the ass. I found that it was honestly a lot easier to hit the mech in Sonic Advance 2 as Super Sonic, because you just sort of The missiles, when you deflected them, you could do them at an angle, but there, I don't know, there was like a bit more of a balance trying to hit the robot itself. Maybe the hitbox was bigger or something. I don't know. But Sonic section usually just takes me a bit of time, you know? And well, the music changes up here. Meaning that we are near the end. There's no like health bar to this thing either. Literally on the bottom screen, all it literally says is Blaze versus Eggman Negative, or Eggman. And it says Supersonic versus Eggman, or Eggman Negative, and that's literally it. To tell you the truth, I think that was my first time. Okay, I was going to say getting through that without any damage on the black hole bit, apart from that bit right there. But yeah, you see what I mean? Like, Blaze's side is just like done and over with, because it's a lot easier to hit a flaming robot. But Sonic's one just drags, you know? I think it's actually possible on Blaze's side where you can literally just keep constantly hitting the flashy part and not have him do any moves. Because as long as you're constantly charging with Blaze, you can just get this dude down no problem. Oh yeah, and because there's so many of those things flying around, even when you're trying to deflect them, you're going to get hit by the lasers and stuff, you know? At least though it's kind of not like Sonic Advance 3, because I found that with Sonic Advance 3's extra boss, trying to actually hit the flaming Gemerald was a pain, because I just constantly kept getting hit and frozen with his thing that went around with the laser. It's just like, oh my god. But, you know, the setting for this is really cool. The music is badass. And well, it's good enough. It's not bad. I can't really remember too many Supersonic boss fights on the top of my head, so I don't really have like a full ranking list. I'd have to really like revisit a whole bunch of them to see where it truly stands, you know? Because it has been some time, I'll tell you that much. Although, the Supersonic boss fights in Sonic Frontiers were top tier. I think we can all agree on that. Like, wow. They went completely, like, extreme on how they made Supersonic in that one. It's pretty much the thing that most people talk about with Sonic Frontiers. I loved it when it came out in 2022. But I need to play it again at some point, you know, just to see what I think of it now after, like, all these years later. But boy, I had a nice old time with it back in 2022. But yeah, this run is terrible. Like, there's probably a much faster way to get this dude done. It is helpful though that you can deflect these green beams back at him. That at least does help. But yeah, because he's moving and they're moving as well, it's just like, oh god. And there you go. That's how you beat it, but that's definitely not how you do it in the quick fashion. But you know what, whatever. I thought, bugger it. It would seem so, Negative. It would seem so.
How is that? Take this!
And well, that is it. I love the little unique jingle you get at the end as well. It's like just a little extra thing thrown in. And we get the full version of Raise Me Up. Like, we heard it before in the credits, but this is like full thing now. And honestly, it's pretty good. It's not bad. Samples go crazy, as per usual. Yeah, they gotta be separate. Oh yeah, for sure she will.
again.
Her sky is green as well. Maybe I noticed that. Like, Sonic's sky is blue. In her world, it's green. Gives off like another dimension vibe, which I suppose that is accurate. Yes, remember the words that Sonic told you. And, well, that is the end of Sonic Rush. For real. Like, this is like the third credit sequence, but this is the actual end. So, yeah, we are treated to this whole melody of the extra songs that you hear. So that's a nice little treat. There's no, like, animation from, like, say, Sonic Advance sprites or anything. But yeah, that marks the end of this LP. Oh, it's been a bit of a ride, hasn't it? It's been very up and down in terms of like schedule and getting stuff out. Like this started back in December of 2024. It was a big old like break, unfortunately, and then it came back. Been sort of just figuring stuff out along the way for how to crank more out. And yeah, I hope to stay a bit more consistent with this though, because I've been really enjoying just playing the game and then just talking over top of it, you know, just like good old fashioned traditional LPs. It's not popular these days, it really isn't, but I still enjoy doing it. Like, been doing this for years and I still enjoy the vibe from it. So I'd like to continue it really. I don't really know what game I'm going to do next. I'm not making any promises for what will come next. It's just literally a matter of whatever I've played recently and whatever one I feel like talking about the most. Like as of late, I've been playing a lot of Zelda, like from the start. So I played the Zelda NES, and that's a really good game when you get the hang of it. Like goddamn, finished that, and I'm currently on Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, and I'm also enjoying that. I find that some games that you thought were like brutal and stuff before, when you try giving them another shot at some point in the future, maybe they'll just click more. And that's essentially what's happened with Zelda NES. Not to mention in my own time, I'm also playing the Sly Cooper series. Like I finished the first Sly Raccoon. Yes, it's called Sly Raccoon over here. Also known as Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. But yeah, done that, and now I'm on Sly 2: The Band of Thieves. I think that's what it's called anyway. It's the second one. And yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, in terms of LPs, I don't know. You'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But I'll find something. I'll find something that I've got a lot to say about, you know, and I want to just talk about constantly because that's the vibe I go for with LPs, really. I just like talking about stuff, you know? Anyway, yeah, congratulations. Thank you for playing. This image with no context. Makes no sense. Look at this. It makes context now that you see it before, but honestly, if you just see that image out of nowhere, you're just like, what the hell's going on? Got Cream who's upset and oh, fuck knows what the hell Sonic's doing in the background. Honestly. But yeah. Cheers Cream up. And well, that marks the end of Sonic Rush. I do like this little artwork and stuff. I really wish they'd bring Cream back more in like other Sonic games. I like her character, you know? I thought she was an important character in the Sonic universe. Alright, anyway, yeah, take care. I'll see you in another LP. It's been fun.